How does your project contribute to delivering the strategic outcomes or the desired results? In this short video, I want to explain how to align your project to desired outcomes using a LogFrame or logical framework analysis approach. Because the problem I see often is a lack of a coherent story aligning a project or a business case to the strategic goals of an organization or of government and the community. Because often it's just a cursory or token attempt that doesn't really mean anything. But it's very important to get this right. So what does strategic alignment mean? Firstly, taking a results focus, which is defined as establishing an agreed approach aimed at contributing to the desired outcomes for transport users and the community. So this strategic orientation provides us with a clear vision of the ultimate results to keep us on track and show how the solution option provided by a project provides a line of sight to the strategic goals. It demonstrates how the project contributes to delivering the desired overall results. The project contributes to a program, to a plan, to a strategy. You can just see that line of sight. A logic map consists of these 5 stages, from resources and inputs to activities to outputs to outcomes to impact. That's the hierarchy of outcomes. Logic mapping, which provides this hierarchy outcomes approach, is a concept used in logical framework analysis. So LogFrame is the preferred approach by international aid agencies in planning and managing aid projects, so it's been well established and well used. So the logic is as follows. If resources and inputs are managed properly and activities are undertaken as planned, milestone targets are met, assumptions hold, then the outputs will likely be produced. And this then would continue up the matrix. If outputs are achieved as planned, assumptions hold, then outcomes will become produced, and so forth. So you can see the logic, but also the hierarchy of outcomes. To develop a log frame, I suggest you start with the narrative summary, working from the top down. So what are the longer-term impact or policy goal that the project contributes to? What's the primary reasons for the project? What would be the direct measurable results of the project? And then you look at what are the resources made available and activities to be undertaken. And then you proceed to build out the matrix, completing the measures and targets, how the data will be collected and measured, and the risks and assumptions. So this really helps to clarify the logic, the causality of activities ultimately delivering the desired results. And plus it sets up measures and targets so you can identify as you're going through, you can monitor as you're going through that things are on track. You have lead and lag indicators, the lead at the bottom and the lag indicators at the top. So let's look at a simple example for a road safety issue to explain how this might be used. So we've got a problem with speeding crashes. And what we want to do is reduce the cost to the community of road crashes due to speeding. So the outcome would be of a project would be to reduce the number of severity of crashes due to speeding. And so the outputs are compliant speeding behaviour. And the activities would be reviewing speed limits, running advertising campaigns, and in putting out some enforcement. And so then we run through the process of, well, we review speed limits, we run a certain number of campaigns and they're effective, and the speed limit reviews show that the speed limits are appropriate, and there is enforcement hours or extent of enforcement. It could actually be automated enforcement, speed over distance. And so the means of verification is that those milestones have been completed, that the speed limits have been reviewed, the campaigns have been run, and the enforcement is in place. And there are some assumptions based on that the speed limits are appropriate and that the campaigns are effective in what they do, and there are a sufficient number of them and they work, and that enforcement is in place. And so the output would be compliant speeding behaviour. And so you measure that by, well, what's the percentage of drivers that are compliant with the speed requirements? And that could be automatically monitored. And then the outcome would be reduce the number and severity of crashes due to speeding. And so you have the killed and serious injury due to speed from the safety statistics, from the police reports and from the Transport Agency Road Safety Database. And then ultimately you could look at what is the cost of speed-related crashes, the cost of the community. So you can see how this is a very useful process. So the key concepts here. Projects are often lacking a coherent story aligning the project or a business case to the desired outcomes. And strategic alignment is available through using a results focus and a line of sight to demonstrate how the project contributes to delivering the desired outcomes. The logical framework analysis, or LogFrame, provides a logic map of if-then requirements from resources and inputs to activities to outputs to outcomes to the impact. And developing a log frame, starting with the narrative summary from top down and then build out the matrix, clarifies the logic and provides a means to monitor progress toward the desired results. In your experience, how often are projects properly aligned with the desired outcomes? Post in the comments.